Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. Welcome back to the Tea and Cookies series for 2. We've been waiting for December where everybody's baking. Throughout the year, I'm able to resist that. But at Christmas time, okay, I'm not going to say no to baking. That's what we love to do. So when I saw Northcott's collection called Sugar Coated, with all these amazing cookie motifs, the rolling pin, the cookie cutters, I mean, this was the perfect fabric collection. And so that's the best part of getting these kits. You get these fabrics. Most of them are now discontinued already. We try to order more. Much to our sadness, those have already, really many of them, discontinued as they prepare for Christmas of 2025. That's just the world of quilt fabric. So get those kits. Of course, you'll have all the fabric you need, including your prefuse and laser cut little scallop detail. And as you know, if you've been following along in the series, we're concentrating on the patchwork block, but the rest of the assembly, of course, is the same. And if you are a quilter and you've been making lots of quilts across your quilting life and journey, you know that that chore of making traditional binding, creating it, sewing it on, either hand hacking or sewing it to the back, isn't our favorite part of quilting, but it's definitely a required part. The best part about these, the self-binding technique, means you get a break from that. It's a really fun technique. So if you are perhaps just joining us, welcome to the YouTube channel here. We have amazing tutorials, always free for you to watch. We're thrilled that you're here. You can see we're now 11 months into the series. We have something for each month where the kit will produce 2 of these. And you need just a little bit of the fusible fleece. That's what's in the middle of this here. And then we're using a thread set each month to stitch down not only the applique shape, but also to do some kind of top quilting. So everything looks beautifully embossed. So today we'll be talking about the patchwork block only. But again, if you are just joining us, or maybe it's been a while since you've made one of these, you might want to head back to the very beginning of our series where we did the February, where I take the deep dive giving you pointers and how to go ahead and add your borders and do that self-binding technique. It's a really cool thing. Again, we get to skip that traditional binding. So this one's super fun with happy fabric. That's always my favorite type of quilt block to make. I love being able to sew with fabrics that just make me smile, right? So simple, just kind of squares in here and simple half square triangles. So I'm going to give you 2 approaches to that. The way that I learned, and maybe you learned how to make half square triangles, we'll touch on that first. And then we'll talk to you about a really cool option called star singles. But let's start off with a traditional approach, and you might decide this is the approach you want to take. So in order to be able to make our half square triangles, which are here, here, and here, as well as here in our pinwheel, we start off with our 2 fabrics, and I like to mark on my lightest fabric. Now, you could always just draw the line corner to corner, but I like to use the Creative Grid Seam Guide tool, which helps me be able to just mark on either side of this tool. And my favorite part about that is I'm way more accurate every time that I get to sew on a drawn line versus trying to seek a 1/4 of an inch away from a line. Simply place those right side together and you'll sew. Okay, and we've already done that in advance. And once you've done that, you'll grab a straight edge and just cut diagonally. And let's press to the red. Let's go ahead and do that. Now these are slightly oversized, and we like to do that. Some of the earliest quilt patterns that I still have were when you're making your half square triangles, they had to be perfect, on the mark. Well, a lot of times if my didn't sew exactly perfect, my quilt blocks ended up usually being actually a little bit too small. Now that I have the slightly oversized, I'm just going to square this up to 2 inches. And whenever I square something up, The first thing I'm going to say is, okay, I want to be able to square up a little bit around all sides. This just happens to be the 2.5-inch Creative Grid ruler. You can use anything that you have, but our desire is to be able to trim. Let me just make myself a little bit more space with my spinning mat here. Our desire is to be able to trim up a little bit on all sides. So notice how I'm biasing my little ruler here so that I can trim just a little bit on this side, and then I'm going to rotate that and trim across the top. And you can see that diagonal on my 2.5 is running right along that seam. Now that we've done that and we know those two sides have been perfectly trimmed, I'm going to set that ruler exactly into that corner, just like that, and trim the other two. Now I know with certainty that when I start sewing this unit into my final assembly, that's exactly the size that it needs to be. So that's one way to be able to make half square triangles. And of course, you're going to be continuing that process where you're trimming up each time. So what's this business? What's this other thing, this star singles? You may have heard, triangles on a roll, star singles, same concept. So we start with our paper and two squares that are larger. What this combination is going to produce is 8 half square triangles, perfectly sized. You don't need to square them up. They already will be the exact size. I love that option. Notice how we need 4 for this placemat and 4 for that placemat. So with just these two fabrics and this piece of paper, we will have all of the half square triangles we need for placemat 1 and placemat 2. And then when you're using the two fabrics that I just used, which is the white with the red with the gingerbread, and you repeat that, you will again have the 8 that you need. So it's a great option. Star singles are my favorite way to make half square triangles efficiently without that step of having to kind of square everything up and trim everything up in the end. So easy peasy, right side together with your fabric. The paper will tell you what size to cut your fabrics. Here's a pointer. Whatever that measurement is, I would just add a 1/2 inch to that. We historically do that here because we want to make sure that when we have our fabrics placed right side together and we place our paper on top, we can see a little bit of fabric extending all the way around our paper, knowing for certain that when we start stitching and start trimming, those fabrics haven't creeped beneath there, below those lines. So that's one of the reasons that we have upsized all of ours by about a 1/2 inch. Now you're going to pin here in the open areas, and let's just take note here of the dash lines. Right away, you should shorten your stitch length to about a 1.5, and you'll be sewing on the dash lines, and at that dark circle, go ahead and opt for that needle down feature on your sewing machine if you have that. And then you'll stop at that and pivot and go down here until the dark circle. And again, needle down, pivot until you complete that. Let me just show you what that looks like. It'll be easier for you to maybe see that from above. Right, so we just started right off, sewed here to our circle, right, all the way around. Once that's done, now, everywhere you see a solid line is where you're cutting precisely on those lines. And I'm just I'll go ahead and extract one of these out and I'm gonna measure it for you. And you can see that that will measure exactly 2 inches. Now, these are the 1.5 inch star singles. And you're like, well, wait a minute, you just said 2 inches. That's because this will measure 2 inches unfinished, but remember, once we sew our 1/4 inch all the way around, this will finish to 1.5. Star singles are based on a finished measurement. So just keep in mind that if you do decide to purchase those for an additional project and you want finished 2 inch half square triangles, you would buy the 2 inch star singles. So that has been a point of confusion that some customers have mentioned. So I wanted to, of course, point that out. So I'm just gonna grab one of these, pull it out here, and of course the paper just rips away. And by you shortening that stitch length, it not only stabilized your fabric so that we could remove the paper, but it really perforates the paper, making it much easier for the paper to tear away. And let's press that, and we're going to measure this. And without having to do that step I did with that 2.5 inch Creative Grid tool, you will see these already come out exactly at 2 inches. So if you're making a quilt that's got half square triangles, pinwheels, and there's a lot of them, just get the star singles. They come in a variety of sizes, and they're a real time saver, and they're far more accurate. So let's just take a quick look at that, and I'll set that right on that, and that's measuring right on the mark at 2 inches. So definitely something I love to use. Star singles are absolutely my favorite. However, you choose to make your house square triangles, whether it's traditionally or with the star singles. Our next step, and I'm just going to kind of bring everything out here. These are just simple squares, right? That's easy enough to do. All of these are just half square triangles that we've sewn together. You just start laying things out and sewing these rows together, right? We just had, this was just 3 squares precisely cut. Make sure to get a fresh blade in your rotary cutter. Anytime we're going to be doing patchwork, go ahead and treat yourself to that, because I've learned the hard way. I tend to quilt at night when kind of everything else is already done. And sometimes I make that first cut, and I'm like, why didn't I grab a fresh rotary blade before I started this project? And of course, you know, by then all the quilt shops are closed. I can't go get one. So just treat yourself, have that in your stash ready to go, so when you need to change out that blade, you can do it. But as I said, square, 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 half square triangle, you're just putting these in rows. And we opted to press the top row to the left, the second row to the right, left and right. Why? Because that's going to give us some interlocking seams. So let's just talk about interlocking seams here. The best part about that interlocking seam is you can see as we start to pin, we're going to pin those areas first, because I want those points coming out, right? You can see these places. That's the goal, of course, of any quilt block. So back in the day when I was a young quilter, I just pinned left to right and prayed. And well, sometimes those prayers were answered and sometimes they weren't. And I didn't realize I should have pinned those tender areas first. So I'm going to go ahead and let's sew that together. Let's have some fun here. Now I'm also going to add my seam guide, and I've got the Cluck Cluck Sew diagonal seam tape on my machine, and I have just learned that if I place my seam guide just to the right of that, that's going to keep me true to my 1/4 inch. So let's get started. Now with that much bulk, let's just look at that. You can see that seam is not listing one way or the other. In that instance, to have an equal distribution of bulk, just press that seam open. If you have a clapper, want to use that. When you have a lot of seams like this that really don't love being pressed back onto themselves, a clapper can be a great option. And while I'm leaving the heat on there a little bit longer, because again, the seams don't want to lay back on top of themselves, but we need that to happen to distribute that bulk. And I'm going to lay that clapper on there, and I'm going to work on these bottom 2. Same concept, of course, right? Pin, 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 1/4 inch seam, press open, and again, you can let the clapper be on there. Again, is a clapper an imperative? No. Does it help the quilt block lay a little bit flatter? you know, it kind of forces those seams as they're cooling down to be compliant and stay flat. That's desirable. So let's see how that helped us out there. Yes, and that looks beautiful. And let's just check out our points. Let's see how we did. The extra time that we took to very carefully, very deliberately pin those places first has definitely paid off. And of course we would do the same. And then your final assembly, right? Putting everything all together. So I'll just kind of simulate that so we can see what our quilt block is going to look like. We know once that part is done, our side borders came in first, followed by our top and bottom borders. And now I want to talk to you about actually this fabric. I'm really excited that you actually have some extra fabric in your kit this time. We knew that there might be a specific motif that you wanted to grab. So this is the size of fabric that you have in your kit. It's larger than you need, but we wanted to give you the chance in case there's a certain motif. Maybe you're excited about the mixer. Maybe it's the candy jars or this beautiful cake. But however that is, go ahead and cut that to the height that needs to be. I believe that's 8 inches. Let's check that out. Now, as far as fussy cutting that, just keep in mind, you got to get 2 of these, so don't get too crazy, right? So this is a 6.5 inch wide ruler. So after you've cut your piece to 6 inches, and also keep in mind, right, that this part is going to come into play. So let's say you like the mixer. I would line up my ruler, but keep in mind that that trim might cover that up. So you might want to scoot that here. But we just wanted to point out that we gave you some extra fabric. This is extra special for Christmas where everybody's baking, and you can be able to get the motifs you want that make it special here for this part of the project. Once that's selected and you've cut that just like we've done before, knowing this is prefused and laser cut, simply give that a good press back. And of course, now you're laying that down. This would already be cut to the size, ironing that down. And you could stitch that down now if you wanted to. In fact, I think that's probably a good idea, especially as you turn this project through, to go ahead and stitch that part down now. And then, of course, you'll be joining the left and the right together, doing your self-binding technique. We waited until the very end, and we like to do the quilting all the way through. Of course, there's fusible fleece in the middle. You could use batting, whatever you have there at home. But we like to be able to stitch in there just to kind of lock everything together and give it a beautiful embossed look. So we have 1 more month in our series, and I cannot believe this just flew. This just flew. Now, remember that part of the Tea and Cookies series was really about just community, getting together with friends and family. We missed out on a lot during COVID. We had 2 free cookie recipes, but being December, I really want to see some more cookie recipes in the comments. So if you're inclined to share some special recipes that we can all enjoy and maybe just build, a brand new recipe book of people that were part of this amazing series, we would love to hear from you. Put that recipe in the comments, pick up those kits, those thread sets, and subscribe. Hey, Christmas is a great time to get together with people you haven't seen in a long time. Let them know about the good news of Shabby Fabrics. We make kits here, design kits every single day with you in mind. So much is coming your way in the new year. Subscribe. Merry Christmas. God bless you and your family, and I'll see you next month as we continue our series.